Hello and welcome. In this episode of Hockey Talkie, I would like to discuss who should be the recipient of the 2017-2018 Vezina Trophy Award. This is my favorite award. I have a soft spot for goalies, so I feel like covering this. I probably won't cover any other award quite like this. So, Vezina Trophy, who should win it? Let's get to it. Now, I'm a big believer in statistics. I'm also a big believer in the eye test. So I'm a huge believer in combining the two, and that's basically what I did to try and figure out who should win this award. For the statistics part of this, I created a big spreadsheet, and basically what I did was I went month through month, October through March. I basically threw April out because I figured, well, there's only a few games in April, and plus your Vezina Trophy winner has probably already been established by then. So October through March, I took three categories: wins, save percentage, goals against average. Pretty simple stats. And I looked at the top 10 goaltenders for each of those categories. Goaltenders who started at least 5 games during that month. And ranked them, 1 through 10. Top goaltender got 10 points, second goaltender 9, third goaltender 8, 10th place got 1 point, everybody else got 0 points. So the thought is, throughout all these months, add up all the points, and your goaltender with the most amount of points throughout the season should be your Vezina Trophy winner, barring the visual eye test, right? So without further ado, I am going to count down the top 5 goaltenders of this year using this method, with number 1 being what should be your Vezina Trophy winner. Starting off at number 5 is Tuukka Rask of the Boston Bruins, fighting some injury issues this year, but still coming up at number 5 is pretty impressive. In fact, he was the only goaltender to have a perfect month with this system. He was the top goaltender in wins, top goaltender in save percentage, top goaltender in goals against average for the month of December. So he scored a perfect 30 points in that month. No other goaltender did that in this system. That was quite impressive, and that really jumped him up in these standings here to number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Marc-Andre Flurry of the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, Flurry, if you remember, was injured during the beginning of this season, and the Vegas Golden Knights had to really throw in a bunch of young goaltenders, some backups that led to them bringing in Malcolm Subban. Somehow Golden Knights did just fine, but Flurry, with missing the early part of the season, came back strong, had a great December, a fantastic January where he finished tops in save percentage and goals against average, and then was 5th in wins, and just basically rode that out to the number 4 spot in these standings. Great year by him, and, well, he could really be a big part in Vegas's run in the playoffs. Number 3, Andrei Vasilyev of the Tampa Bay Lightning. He was the front runner for this trophy, for the Vezina, for a good chunk of this year. In fact, more than halfway through this year, when the Hawks lost to the Lightning, I mentioned in my Hawks recap video that at that point of the season, I would be giving Vasilyev the Vezina Trophy. However, the last half of this season, he's kind of fallen off a cliff a little bit. He's young, he's been used a lot, and that could be a problem for the Lightning in the playoffs. You can tell he's kind of struggling, he's fatigued, and that really played a big part in him sliding down to this number 3 spot. Coming in at the runner-up position, number 2 in this system that I'm using is Sergei Bobrovsky of the Columbus Blue Jackets, a guy who's already won a couple of Vezina trophies in his career, a guy who continued his stellar play this year, really started off strong. October through December was very, very good. January and February, he slumped a little bit, and by slumped, I mean was average by his standards, and then has picked it up since then. And that's something that you'll see. There is no goaltender that will play lights out for 6 straight months, or 7 or 8 if you count the playoffs. Goaltenders will have bad games, or the defense in front of them will have bad games. It happens, and the fact that Bobrovsky was still able to finish at number 2 with January and February, or 2 months, kind of not being up to his standards, that's saying something. So if you haven't guessed it already, just by process of elimination, your 2017-2018 Vezina Trophy winner, or at least the guy who should win it, is Pekka Rinne from the Nashville Predators. Just an absolutely unbelievably consistent year from him. Big reason why the Predators were in the Stanley Cup final last year. Big reason why they won the Western Conference during the regular season this year. And a big reason why the Predators are the Stanley Cup favorites in the playoffs here. So at this point, this is where the eye test comes in, just to give sanity to the numbers, making sure that the numbers are actually adding up in a realistic manner, or in a manner that makes sense. In this case, they do. You look at the teams in front of Pekka Rinne compared to Sergei Bobrovsky, and yes, the Predators' defense is better than the Columbus Blue Jackets' defense. However, Pekka Rinne did score 19 more points in this system than Bobrovsky, which in my eyes is enough to outweigh the difference between the two teams in front of these two goaltenders. So, in my eyes, it makes sense. It adds up. Pekka Rinne should be your Vezina Trophy winner for this season. If he is not, there's some serious issues. As far as honorable mentions go, you have guys like Martin Jones, Connor Hellebuyck, Jonathan Quick, Antti Raanta, Frederik Andersen, guys who had some really good seasons and should be commended for it. Just unfortunately, only one Tendy can win the Vezina. So there you have it. Let me know your thoughts. How would you rank the top 5 goaltenders? Who would be your Vezina Trophy winner? Do you disagree with anything I said? Let me know down in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it if you do, but most importantly, stay safe, make good decisions, and hopefully I'll see you next time.